Everyone's talking about AI, but who's actually implementing it? I'm Jenna Ahern, the CEO of Guardian Owl Digital, a search engine marketing firm rooted in integrity and transparency in the digital age. AI and marketing are at a crossroads, and the technology is moving faster than most business leaders can keep up with. That's why we created Go AI, a podcast series where we interview leaders in various industries about all things artificial intelligence. With each guest, my co-host Connor Rafferty and I will explore the applications that this rapidly evolving technology has for business leaders and their industries. Let's go AI. We are so thrilled to invite our next guest, Ebony Bartee. She is a absolute badass serial entrepreneur, and I can't wait to learn how she's threading AI into all of her ventures. Ebony, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Jenna. Of course, my name is Ebony Bartee, and I think my favorite thing I love to describe myself as is that I love entrepreneurship. And
Clearly.
For me,
Yeah.
thank you. And for me, that speaks to empowerment. I think when we know better, we do better. And that's empowering. So I feel like we all have a niche. If you have a passion of something that you're passionate about, if you have a talent, then you have a business. So I have the privilege of being able to meet people, especially across Louisville, that have all these great passions and have all these great talents, and help them develop a business into that, become an entrepreneur. For myself, I personally am a owner of a flight school, Equus Flight Academy. And a fun fact about that is that in the history of the United States, you have less than 100 Black women in the whole entire history of the United States to own a flight school, a 141 flight school. So I joke and tell people that they have a better chance of becoming a millionaire than being in my position.
I mean, again, badass. So there you go. Perfect. And that's just one thing that's just one venture that you do. So you also real estate. Polo Fields, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Polo Real Estate Group. And I was a stay-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
I raised my kids. I have the privilege of being a mother of 4 awesome, beautiful college students. And that was my main thing. I believe change starts at home.
Of course.
And I roll into real estate. As I used to build my own portfolio with my ex-husband. We used to play around. And I just found that real estate became easy for me. Like, I love problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me that I can't, I'm going to figure out a way that I can. You know?
It was like a challenge for
Yeah,
you.
so you tell me if it's this price, I'm going to figure out how to get it to this price. That's a problem. I need to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started just naturally excelling in real estate. It became like my first layer of skin. The problem is that I've done better in commercial than residential.
I don't even know. So you mean commercial real estate?
Yes.
So why was that? Because I feel like it's the same skill set for someone who doesn't know that.
Somewhat. However, real estate, I feel like commercial real estate takes less patience.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
and
sense.
it's less emotional. When you're dealing with families, you're dealing with homes, you have a more of an emotional state in that. It's kind of around the clock. Commercial, when the bank's open, we're open.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you're buying a building or you're buying,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, or land or retail. We have hospitals. So it's so many different avenues. And I still specialize in residential. However, I specialize more in building investors' portfolios, their residential portfolio. So I call it their sleeping money.
Jeez.
While they're asleep, their portfolios is just making them some money.
I need to get some of that.
Yeah.
And then you serve on the board of I'd Rather Be Reading.
Yes.
A local organization. So it's like all the things.
Well, again, I think change starts at home. And the neat thing about I'd Rather Be Reading, they are a K-5 nonprofit organization that they introduce literacy to the home in a tutoring form to kids, again, through K-5. We're moving into the middle school area.
That's exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
We just done a middle school aviation camp with Conway this past summer. So that was super fun to just get into that middle school area. But most of these kids come out of problematic neighborhoods, problematic homes. And not only are we able to offer after-school tutoring for them, we're able to give them a safe haven. Most parents that are single parents in these homes, it's hard to work during those school hours. Most of the time, they give you about 6 hours to work. It's hard to have a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Now that their kids are at a safe place, getting a hot meal, getting some skills and some tutoring, they can now work till about 6 p.m. So that helps with the home and the home front. It also allows the kids to be able to flourish and specialize in their talents and their gift and hopefully be more entrepreneurs.
You're doing amazing work.
Thank you. Well, it's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Doesn't it though? Doesn't it though? Well, so out of all these things, I know that you've threaded in AI, but let me back up and just ask, when you think of artificial intelligence, what comes to mind what comes to mind?
So I was thinking about earlier today, I thought to myself, I said, Ebony, when is the first time that I resonated with AI? I attend a Toastmaster group every week, pretty much every week. I'm not going to throw out which one because I love my group.
For those listening that don't know what Toastmasters is, give us a little bit, couple sentences. Yeah.
Great question. So Toastmaster is a class that it teaches you about public speaking. Okay. I like to define it as it doesn't teach you how to talk, but it teaches you how to speak.
Okay.
There's a whole difference in that. I think I'm a great talker, but I always thought I was a horrible speaker. Because when you're speaking, there's a reason why you're speaking. There is, what are you trying to relay? What do you want your listener to understand? Communication is not what's said, but what's understood.
Oh, that's powerful. Yes.
So if I am not, and I use that at home a lot. In the home front. There's no sense of talking to those rapid teenagers of mine if they're not going to understand because they're not listening, right?
Correct.
So it might be a different time to pick that battle when they're listening so they can understand what I'm trying to relate to them versus the time that they're not listening, they're not going to understand what I'm saying. So Toastmaster have helped me to be able to speak, getting my information across. It's the best public speaking that you can have. And if you're lucky enough to find your group that becomes family like mine has,
I love that.
Then it's even more empowering for you in your profession, even if it's not a speaking profession. Again, for me, I start using the skills at home first.
Well, I love that. Okay, so now we know what Toastmasters was. You were at Toastmasters.
And there's a gentleman that done a speech. And every week we have about 3 speeches. 3 speakers get up. You even get a ribbon if you're the best speaker, if you're voted on the best speaker, right? I'm not going to talk about...
It's a little competitive there.
It is.
I like that.
I'm not going to talk about all the ones I have on my fridge.
They're all first.
Yes. I joke every time I get to... And it not only teaches you about how to speak in a speech way, but we have a round table, so it teaches you about impulsive speaking, being caught on the spot. And this gentleman had a speech that he had to do, and he got up and he said, I forgot about that I had to speak this morning. So on the way, I asked AI to write me a speech on da-da-da-da. And that was my light bulb moment. I said, what in the world?
Wait, what? It did that for you?
It did that. I mean, all this time I've heard of AI, but I am not a tech guru. I'd rather have someone at the table that I could pay to do that for me, and they do it way better and more efficient. But when this gentleman said that, I thought to myself, I really need to learn about this AI, because if I can get anything to do something like that for me, then I am snoozing and I'm losing.
Yeah, especially on the way to the Toastmaster.
At a 6:00 a.m. class, and he got up there and done a great job on his speech. And that blew my mind. Like, how in the world did you tell a machine to write you a speech and it done it on your way to your speaking engagement? That blew my mind. So I then it resonated with me, and I became more interested. My ears poked up anytime I heard about AI, and it wasn't just something I was hearing now, it was something I was listening to.
Ooh, I like that.
And so where would you describe yourself now in terms of your interactions with AI and your implementations of AI within your multiple ventures?
So my passion is the aviation side. I joke and say I naturally ooze real estate. That's just kind of natural. You blindfold me, somehow I can do real estate. I work at aviation. It is a learned skill because I brought the people and the communication side. So the skill of aviation, I've had to learn with my partners who I've had eons and years in this field. The biggest thing when it comes to AI and aviation, of course, is the famous word that we all love right now, and that is drones. Drones are killing it.
That's amazing.
Right now. And what most people does not realize that at the age of 16, you can become a licensed commercial drone pilot.
I didn't know that.
Flying a drone that's over half a pound, you are now FAA consider you a pilot. The Federal Aviation Administration will consider you a pilot.
So if I buy a drone and I get licensed, I'm
Girlfriend.
practically a pilot.
You would.
I'm putting that in my LinkedIn profile. That's a great conversation starter.
It is. It is. And
Wow, that's
sometimes
wonderful.
I tell people, people think about, when they think about aviation, they immediately go to, oh, I don't want to fly a plane.
Oh, same. I did.
Yes. And there are over 200 career fields in aviation. There's so many different aircrafts, from helicopters to jets to student plane Cessnas to drones.
Yeah.
That you're up under our government regulations. You're considered a pilot if you're flying one of those aircrafts. So when you think about drones and you think about AI, AI have been so liberating in aviation that they still haven't even got a full handle on it, because it's growing quicker than the government can keep up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It
just
rolls
in
over.
legislation too. And I'm sure like some of the planes, obviously not a drone, but probably takes a little bit they're not brand new, right? Those planes. So it's like then integrating all of that. Is that traffic control, or is it the plane that AI is incorporated, or is it both? Is it, I don't know.
All the above.
Okay. All right.
All the above. When you think about some of your avenues for AI, I love the fact I had a conversation with one of my college students, my daughter, who's home right now for the holidays. And I asked her this morning, I said, how would you describe AI? And her words were basically a robot that thinks like a human. It's your friendly robot companion.
It's like, yeah, she's probably using her friendly robot companion at college.
She said that.
I wish I had it.
She said that. She said, Mom, it is one of my best friends. So when you think about aviation again has over 200 career fields, and we haven't even gotten into avionics. Avionics is a whole different field of aviation. Aviation is the people who man what is created. Avionics fall up under what's created. So when you're talking about law, communication, regulations, piloting, selling, design, architect, engineer, AI has become the new it.
So talk about these kids, right, that are going through the academy. I didn't even know that there were more than 5 jobs within aviation. Like I just think pilot and like stewardess, because I clearly am ill-equipped and not smart. So not competent in this industry. So how do you present all of like these career paths, knowing that AI may change, like for instance, the drone, for instance. So like, how is that presented to kids at a young age when all they're thinking is aviation's pilots?
Well, the neat thing is because drone, what helped us in the preamble of it all is video games, right? So you go back to Nintendo.
Yeah.
You go back to your handheld devices.
Played that. Yeah.
Then that helped to kind of set the preliminary pathway for drones. When you think about a drone, it is similar. I had a kid at my church one time. I said, what do you want to do when you graduate? And he said, oh, well, I really like math and I kind of, need to do some science, because he's thinking traditional. He said, but I really love playing video games. I said, hello, drones.
Yeah, exactly. Hello. And he probably did he know?
He didn't even think about it. And the next week I brought him a drone. I brought him, one of the things that I take to my kids at the camps is that we have, and Amazon sells them for less than $60. They have these drone kits, and you can purchase this drone kit, and it gives them 5 different ways to build this drone. And I take it to
they build the drone. Oh,
they build
cool.
the drone, and then they fly it.
Okay, we're gonna have to get that kit so we can include it in the episode so that I can selfishly buy it and learn.
Yes, and it's under half a pound, so it's okay you're within regulations of our law. And the kids
I don't
love it.
need a license, essentially.
If you're flying a drone that is under half a pound, you do not.
Okay.
However, if it's 0.56 or up to 55 pounds, then you do have to have a commercial pilot license, drone pilot license. Which again, at the age of 16 years old, you can become a commercial pilot, drone pilot.
Okay, well, we will include in the link the one that you don't have to be licensed for. That's under half a pound.
And it is so cool because it implements engineering, it implements architect, because they have to put it together to fly it. It's kind of like a Lego set. It has these different color pieces, but when they get done, they're able to fly it. It flips, and it's a great tool to introduce drones to kids and help them to understand that there's nothing wrong with what you're passionate
What your
about.
passion is. Video games. Great. You can do that.
We have simulators. Our aircraft at our flight school in Salem, Indiana, we was awarded through, it's called the Top Hawk program. And the Cessna's program where they award 5 flight schools and that throughout the United States, a brand new plane. 2024 Cessna 172. We are one of 4 other flight schools in the United States that was awarded this plane. What that allows students to be able to, because if you purchase it today, you cannot even get into 2027. And that was as of April. So it's actually probably pushed out further.
Jeez.
But what that allows students to be able to do is start to learn how to fly what's coming down the pipeline.
Got it. That
Our
makes
plane
sense.
is a completely glass cockpit, completely digital, Garmin 1000. AI is implemented. So when we put our kids and our students, our scholars on the simulator,
They're already using it. That's cool.
all the way.
I was reading just today an article that said that Google's DeepMind, and this connects to aviation, or at least it has implications for aviation, was able to create a weather prediction AI that's breaking new barriers in terms of going, okay, now from a week, it's going to 15 days out. So obviously for planning flights, that's huge. Are there any other applications for AI within aviation that are really exciting you that you're seeing?
Just to piggyback off of what you said, a plane don't move without weather. I wish that we taught meteorology so much more in the schools because it is hand in hand with aviation. You did not have, most airlines even employ their own meteorologists.
Wow.
And then they also listen to the National Weather Services. We have one right here in our city that's right off of over out on kind of by Jefferson Mall area.
Okay.
I'll tell anyone, take your kids out there to see it. Like, you want to talk about something that is just mind blowing to see all the graphs and to see just how weather plays out within our city. And for us, they report to the airport, our Muhammad Ali airport. So unless they hear that the weather is okay enough to fly, then they can't move. When it comes to the Cessnas, the smaller aircrafts, the 172s, if that wind is above so many knots, then we cannot fly that aircraft. If those clouds are too low, we cannot move those planes. So weather is something that is huge. I mean, to me, it is the yin to the yang of flying, if you ask me, across the board. When I think about things that AI are playing into effect, the question probably is better, what things can it not play into effect of?
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Because, even for real estate, my partners and I were at a round table, doing some research and sending some things out to our clients. And they said, well, Ebony, will you put together an email to send out to the prospects about this listing that we have? I didn't take 30 minutes to figure out how to word this email. Of course, I went right to Grammarly and put in, hey. And I asked them, was this okay? Do we need to make it funnier?
Yeah.
Do we need to make it cuter? Does it need to be more inviting? It was a click away. And the email that we sent out was what I found on Grammarly, or that I created through AI on Grammarly. I was joking, and I recently told you that my happy Thanksgiving warm message that I sent out was a point, but I went to Grammarly and done the poem. I mean,
I do it too. So it's like, was this human generated or AI generated?
So I think, to get back to your question, the question becomes, what things are coming down that AI cannot? And if I had to lean into that question and they had to give you an answer, I will say when it comes to aviation, one of the bigger things that people are kind of having a little problem with is that they're wanting most planes and most of those jets, those 777s, those 757s, those 747s, the ones that we see in the sky most of the time, those are 2-pilot aircrafts.
Okay.
And now they're wanting to get, because AI, they're wanting to kind of push out a second pilot to where you have AI that's helping the aircraft. We're so smart. Human beings are so smart that a plane actually is really created to fly itself.
On autopilot. But the taking off and landing
taking off
is very
and the landing.
you need human.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or when you run into turbulence and things. But the creation, the engineering fact of the aircraft, from the way that the wing is shaped to the way that the cockpit is done, most of that is created to soar and do what it does in the sky. You just have man to the need to, when it's going into those different weather conditions. And again, the takeoff, the landings, that's where you need the man hands-on part. But you still don't want a robot up there. You know, we was laughing last night and we was thinking about those taxis. You know, how many people are flipping out because they're pulling up and there's no one and the wheel is just going and going. I'm not ready for that yet. I don't think I want to get into a plane, be up thousands of feet in the sky, and there's no one in that plane, in the air.
No,
in
I'm
that
with
cockpit.
you. I'm not ready for that. I mean, I'm ready. I think that I could be ready for self-driving car, like in taxi. But to your point, it's not like those are readily available and you see them all the time. And I have experience and trust built up with it. I am not ready to be flown in the air by a robot yet.
Yeah.
So I think we have some time. And to your point, there's got to be some legislation that's going to catch up with that, before that really, pun intended, takes off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you would definitely need to get approval to have that kind of thing happen. But going back to real estate quickly, we just had a guest on who works with AI, generative AI, especially with avatars, where you're able to create like someone like me, just, it's like there's me in real life and then just a digital version of myself that can just speak and talk in like videos and whatnot. One of his clients is in real estate and is able to create like YouTube videos, personalized messages, even like podcasts. Does that excite you at all in terms of just being able
Like
to
the
create?
efficiency.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me excited because in real estate, real estate is really done by your eyes. It's a very visual aspect, and it's very personal. You want to be able to touch your client.
Yeah.
You want to be able to, if you're on the listing side, on the selling side, you want to be able to have your product attractable to the eye. Again, I do commercial real estate, and I tell my students when I go and speak to them about drones, I let them know, I said, every time I have a commercial listing, the photographer that we hire is a drone pilot photographer. He comes out, he charges $400 every appointment. He's there for no more than an hour, hour and a half, and I've never been booked any closer than 2 days. So when you think about revenue, you think about income and salary, in the state of Kentucky alone, you can make over 6 figures as a drone pilot. The average income as a commercial drone pilot in the state of Kentucky is about $117,000, $120,000 salary. So when you think about, just that alone, and because of that, I'm able to take my listings. I have one in particular right now at 1541 West Oak Street. That is a 3-acre listing. It's a lot of land, commercial land, and it would be great for dormitory. It would be great for retail because of the zoning of it. I was able, my photographer, my photographer was able to take that video and make it to where I wanted everyone, if you're looking at the video, I wanted you to see the proximity of the other colleges. I wanted you to see the proximity of the hospital. I wanted you to see the proximity of the highways, I-65, 264. I wanted you to see how close it was to the waterfront. Because of the drone and AI, he was able to create all of that literally from standing at 1541 West Oak Street with what some would call
That's cool.
just a remote controller.
Video game.
A video game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That blew my mind. So to think think about how much money he's making.
Well, and so what's interesting is, to your point, Connor, it's like you have these avatars that could be like an avatar of Ebony, but you still need, especially in real estate, to be able to show the property using that drone footage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I fast forward 5-10 years, if I'm looking to buy land, I'm sure if that technology is available, the real estate agents that have embraced it and they've already implemented it within, their firm, they're going to win more deals just because they have what the consumer needs.
Exactly.
Visuals.
Exactly. And a lot of time, especially not only just commercial, but residential, a lot of time your buyers are out of state.
Yeah.
They don't live right here. They don't know how close 1541 West Oak Street is to Simmons College of Kentucky or to Spalding or to U of L or to I-65. They don't know how close of a drive it is to University of Louisville Hospital, those things. But because of the drone and AI, then we're able to give them that picture right before their eyes. If they're in California, if they're in Texas, it doesn't matter. Or if you're right here and you've just never even been to West
I have
Oak
it.
Street.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you can see.
You can see that. So it's so huge. I mean, when you think about insurance, when you think about photography, again, we've discussed aviation. One thing I love a lot when you were asking about the students, Jenna, right now, Kentucky is a huge Department of Agricultural state. When it comes to farming, I mean, what's our name? The Bluegrass State?
Bluegrass State. Oh, yeah.
So that tells you when it comes to our government, what is pretty heavily regulated here in the state of Kentucky? Your Department of Agriculture.
Yeah.
Right now, we get so many students that come in automatically because their families have acres and farm. And so now the farmer is able to take a drone and they're able to get down lower. So that takes out the crop dusting. They're saving money. They're not having to use these big aircrafts to now they're able to fly at night. They're able to get lower. They're saving on products. So it's a huge money too. So right now in our classes right now, so many of our students are coming in and they're like, I'm studying drones. I'm studying drones because my family we farm wheat, we farm corn, we farm grass for the cows.
Exactly.
You're going to have your nice ribeye steak with this weekend.
Yeah. I'm here for that. Yeah.
Again, AI.
And I never would have thought.
No.
So, Ebony, thank you for coming. And I feel like my mind is blown. You're going to have to send me the kit so I can put it in on Amazon in the show notes. But first of all, your story, just your passion. And I love the thought of, you can follow your passion. If that's a video game, there's drones. You can be a pilot. And then literacy, what you're doing for I'd rather be reading, real estate. What words of wisdom would you leave our audience with when it entrepreneurship and AI?
I almost want to tear up because I love people. And I think all of us have a business in us. All of us have a way to thrive and make income in us. If you love to draw and doodle, there's architect, there's design. We need someone to paint the planes. We need someone to design the planes. If you love to talk, we need someone to sell the planes. If you love law, we need someone to help regulate the aircrafts. If you love robotics, we have avionics. My thing is that instead of trying to fit into a box, take the time to research what your passion is, because, the old saying that if you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to work? I'll tell anyone, I oversee labor. I don't do labor. I'm not her. I'm not her.
I love that.
So in order to be able to get up and do what I love to do every day, which I have the blessing to be able to call it work.
Yeah. You have to be passionate.
You have to be passionate about that. If not, I would tap out a long time ago from that. So we now have these tools like AI that can help us be better in our passions, can help us be smarter. If I can put in what I need a speech written about on my way to my destination and AI help me to do that, and it's not getting up there and speaking for me, I'm still a presenter.
Totally.
I still have to implement my Toastmaster skills, right?
Yeah.
To present this. However, it helped me be better and it helped me be more proficient, which is the benefit that we have with AI. Don't abuse it, just use it.
Oh, I love that. Don't abuse it, just use it. Well, Ebony, thank you so much for coming on the show today. How, if one of our audience guests wants to get in touch with you, how do they find you?
I am online. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on social media outlets. You can always look us up. Please visit our website, Equus Flight Academy. You can also reach me anytime at 502-851-1812, whether it's real estate, whether it's aviation. If you have a question, I love talking to anyone that'll listen about it because most of us don't know. And again, when you know better, you do better. So if you have schools, you have kids, you have church groups, you volunteer with organizations, young or old, if they'll listen, I will come and discuss aviation.
I love that. Thank you, Ebony.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Go AI. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and review our podcast so we can continue to grow and offer more great AI content. If you're looking for digital marketing, digital transformation, or AI help, make sure you visit www.guardianowdigital.com. Have questions? Email team@guardianowdigital.com for answers. See you next time on Go AI.